Hi there. I have already reviewed the Prey series by John Sandford in our review of series of thrillers, but since then he's released the 35th Lucas Davenport novel, which is Ocean Prey, and it's a winner, so I wanted to talk about it today. Now, John Sandford has managed to maintain a high standard over many years, 35, as I say, books in just this series alone. And it's not easy to do. Michael Connolly, Stephen Hunter, they managed to do it as well, maintain a high standard with a high output. Some others don't. I remember Patricia Cornwell. She wrote a really long series of books, and I started reading them. I started them as they came out, and I read them as she produced them. And I always remember when I'd go to the States, I used to always arrive in Chicago and run into the bookstore there to see if there was a new Patricia Cornwell or any of the other books I liked out. And then she wrote one in particular that just was not up to standard at all, and then that was it. I couldn't read any of the others. The standard just dropped, and that applies to several other writers. But John Sandford does manage to maintain it. Ocean Prey starts with an off-duty Coast Guard out on his boat for recreation, and he sees very suspicious activity of packages being brought up by a diver and hauled aboard a large boat. He follows, and he also radios into the Coast Guard command centre, and they task one of their boats to intercept, and the upshot of it is 3 Coast Guard officers are shot and killed, and the bad guys escape. They abandon the boat, but they've taken the drugs with them. So a task force is assembled, led by the FBI in Fort Lauderdale, with Coast Guard appearance as well, and Lucas Davenport is asked by a US senator to join in, and he gets Bob Mattees from the previous books, who's a member of the US Marshal Special Operations Group, and their plan is to kind of beat the bushes at a street level, stir it all up, talk to the druggies, put pressure on them, try and flip them, and find out who these guys are. And also Lucas Davenport has, with his brain for detection, has worked out a couple of things from the evidence that they've recovered. He's seen things that haven't been picked up by the FBI. Anyway, they commence doing this and operating in the underworld, and it all goes disastrously wrong. So they need a rethink, and what happens is Lucas brings Virgil Flowers, his old colleague from the BCA up in Minnesota, and he links up with Ray Givens, the other SOG marshal, and they go undercover. And the idea is they appear as criminals who dabble in drugs, but Virgil is a diver, and they manage to come into the orbit of the drug guys and get picked up and recruited because they need a diver. So the plot involves Virgil having undergone special training with a couple of SEALs to get his diving expertise really up. He's already can be a sport diver, but he needs a lot of the technical ability. And they test him out and give him a free rein to buy equipment, and he goes and recovers the first load of drugs. And the FBI has a big surveillance net, and the idea is to follow them and kind of round up the entire network as a result. A lot of tension in the book, particularly on the boat and the diving and so on. One of the things is John Sandford really goes into great detail and very, very fascinating detail about the undercover protocols and tactics, and how they sell their identity so convincingly. Just little touches sometimes. And it's really, really an absorbing book. The diving aspects, it's an area I'm not familiar with at all. It's something I've never ever done, but he does make it very, very interesting, and it's an integral part of the story. It has to be there. So all in all, it's well up to John Sandford's high standard, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I've got a feeling that there's a future for Virgil and Ray as a team. I just kind of predict that might be something that John Sandford returns to.